Hello, I am Professor Kino, and welcome to my Office of Cinematic Antiquity. Today we will be talking about Taika Waititi has quickly become a household name across the world thanks to his explosive work in the MCU on Thor Ragnarok, a film that revitalized one of the more bland Marvel heroes by putting him on a flashy, funny, and bright interstellar adventure. Ragnarok was so well received by critics and audience members, in fact, that people demanded more of this new Thor, and as a result, he has become one of the first Marvel heroes to be greenlit for a fourth standalone film, Thor: Love and Thunder, which is slated to release in November of 2021. But while Waititi's creative and unique directorial style has only just broken through into pop culture, he had quite a handful of spectacular films already under his belt going into the Marvel franchise, such as Eagle vs. Shark, Boy, What We Do in the Shadows, and Hunt for the Wilderpeople. All of these are original, nuanced, and occasionally powerful films full of heart and plenty of offbeat hilarity. In other words, while Waititi's career has definitely benefited from his involvement in the MCU, he is far from being dependent on it, as some other directors are. And such is the reason why, before moving forward with his second Thor film, he swung back to his roots to make another smaller, more original film. And this time, it was a movie that he had wanted to do for years, but wasn't able to because of a lack of interested investors, producers, and studios. Why? Because Jojo Rabbit, is a satirical comedy that deals with Nazi Germany and a young boy's imaginary friend Hitler. Now, it is important to note that while on the surface it is clear why folks were at least a little hesitant about the project, Waititi is Jewish. Clearly he wasn't going to promote the Nazi Party with his film, but nonetheless he struggled to get it made until he got more influence in the industry with his post-Thor career. Even then, however, the project wasn't met with wholly open arms. Some people feared that showing off Nazis in a light comedic way would lessen their wrongdoings, or even worse, make them seem trivial and by association acceptable. And this fear was worsened when it was made public that Waititi was playing the imaginary Hitler himself, not by choice, but because no one else seemed to want the role. Could it be that the film and its script were distasteful? But I had faith in Waititi and his nuanced, powerful, and original style, so now that I've seen Jojo Rabbit, do I agree with the backlash, or do I think it actually serves up an important and profound message? Premise. During the final year of World War II, 10-year-old German boy Johannes Jojo Betzler finds himself surrounded by Nazi imagery and propaganda that teaches him how to be a good German. Being a small child, he of course buys into it all and makes it his goal, with the support of his imaginary friend Hitler, to become the best Nazi he can be. However, when he discovers that his mother has been harboring a young Jewish girl in their attic, Jojo's entire identity is tested as he learns that it is important to not believe everything that you read, especially about other people. Satire is a difficult thing to pull off well. It's complicated. While it is, at least according to thesaurus.com, synonymous with mockery, satire involves a lot more than that. However, because of the synonyms equated with it, some people view satire as something that involves aggressive and hateful humor. Cinemasis. But that wouldn't be further from the truth. While satire can deal with topics that are dark and in some cases horrific, a good satire walks the line between aggression and acknowledgement through the use of ridiculousness, exaggeration, and irony. And if this is done correctly, a satire will have the ability to tackle deep and dark topics without becoming self-serious or losing its critical intent. And I think for the most part, Waititi was able to achieve this with Jojo Rabbit. The core of the film is about looking past propagandistic stereotypes, not judging a book by its cover, and using love to combat and conquer hatred. Hence why the film deals with Nazis, the forefront group on the hatred bandwagon. By touching on their blind hatred toward various groups of people, particularly Jewish people, the script of Jojo Rabbit quickly and ruthlessly cuts down the flaws of this type of ignorant worldview with some wacky characters, embarrassing events, and plenty of laughs. For instance, one character blames the Jews for her uncle's unfortunate life events, such as making him cheat on his wife. Another two characters happen to be closeted gay Nazis who clumsily hide their secret while simultaneously joining into the bombastic buffoonery of hate rallies. And a whole group of other characters participate in a seemingly never-ending barrage of Heil Hitlering as they try to maintain their clearly flawed societal norms and greetings. In other words, the film makes it clear how insanely flawed hate groups are by making the rhetoric sound ignorant and downright stupid, and it works wonders. But what would be the point of all this satire if it didn't offer a counterpoint to it all? And that's where Jojo comes in. While he blindly buys into the rhetoric around him initially, for example, he believes that Jews sleep in caves upside down like bats, have psychic powers, have tails, etc., life hits him hard when he runs into a young Jewish girl in his attic who he quickly realizes is just like everyone else. and this quickly puts a spotlight on the flaws of what Jojo's been taught, and he begins to question his identity. And over the course of the film, from the ridiculous events to the occasional heartfelt dramatic moment to the hysterical antics of Jojo's imaginary friend Hitler, played wonderfully by Waititi and his characteristic buffoonery, I must add, Jojo's beliefs are stripped away to show that even the most irrationally radical member of a hate group has the capacity to change if love is added to the equation as a way to show his views false. And Jojo Rabbit presents this message well through its light-toned, committed performances and plain absurdity. And while I don't think that the film is as wholly original as it thinks it is, or would have you believe based upon its initial presentation, its core message isn't all that new and its humor can sometimes feel a little repetitive, it still conveys an important message that I think rings painfully true today in our consistently changing world of hatred and closing borders. Consequently, do I think that this film crosses the line like some feared it would? No, not particularly. However, I do think that if you go into it prepared to be offended or wanting to get agitated, then you will, thanks in part due to the presentation and subject matter. But to be honest, that is a common symptom of satire. So yeah, if you like Waititi's previous work and style of humor, then this film is going to be something you like. But if you were against the film from the get-go or just don't like Waititi's style, then you'll probably walk away either feeling a little uncomfortable or wondering what all the fuss was about. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. If you want to add anything, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I am Professor Kino, and I look forward to our next discussion.